Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Stats. I'm your host, Terry Edelman at TU Picks over on X, ready to break down the Saturday slate. I hope everybody enjoyed their few days off, enjoyed their Christmas, Boxing Days today. Hope it went well for everyone. I do want to say at the beginning of the show here, just in case something happens, we are having an ice storm here. So if for some reason the show freezes and I'm stuck in the same position for a long time, well, that's because the power went out. So hopefully that's not the case, but it is the winter and we'll have to see what Mother Nature gives us. But having said that, I'm breaking down all 13 games. So we're going to get the show on the road right away. We'll quickly recap what happened on the last show, which was Tuesday. Unfortunately, should have went lower volume the day before the Christmas break. Robertson did not score. Unfortunately, a loss there. Josh Norris did not get a point against his former team. I did cash in the Sabres money line as one of my premium plays, my dog of the day. So thank you to the Sabres for getting the job done there. Florida team total over 3.5 plus 184. Looked like a loser. It was 2-0 heading into the third period. I was starting to think, is Freddie Anderson back? And during the whole game, the first two periods, I was thinking, yeah, he's really going to want to play well because his future really depends on it. And after two periods, he had not allowed a goal. Everything was looking great for him. And then the Florida Panthers scored 4 goals in the third period. I think it was within like a 10-minute span. I'm not exactly sure the amount of time, but it was quick. They scored, and they scored. And all of a sudden, it's 4-2 Florida. I'm cashing my team total, and poor Frederik Andersen probably sealed his fate in that one. Nashville, Minnesota. Unfortunately, the Wild end up losing this game in overtime. Hartman did not score, so that sucked a little bit. And this one really pisses me off. And I hate to start this way, but this one really pisses me off. Connor McDavid recorded 5 assists. 5 assists in this game, but he couldn't score a goal. Come on, McDavid. You've been on a goal streak. You've been shooting the puck so much. You're really going to get 5 assists in this game and not score a goal? But that's what happened. And then Pavel Dorofeyev did not score in this game. Should have bet Colin Graf, which I ended up didn't because of how the slate was going. Didn't want to add one additional play. Definitely should have, but I corrected that for tomorrow's slate, which we'll get into. But now let's jump into things here. Ho, ho, ho. Hockey is back. Yes, Rich, exactly. Late. Yes, I'm late, but it's the holidays, Boog, so I'm allowed to be late. Terry, yes. Is this NHL picks or for today World Junior? No, this is NHL picks for tomorrow's slate. I did not look at the World Juniors at all. I've really been deep diving into this slate, and I've really looked into who plays well after the Christmas break and who doesn't over the last few years. Now, some teams are kind of mad. There's not really any kind of major streak, but there are some teams that do really good after the Christmas break, and there are others that don't. So we will discuss that. But that's where my extra time went. Hi, Terry. Glad to have hockey back. Me too, Timothy. It's been a nice break, but I'm ready for tomorrow to come. What's good, brother? Stay safe. Thank you, Timothy. I'm nice and warm in my house, so I'm all good, but hopefully the power can stay all good. How are we doing, chat? Oilers power play points. Yeah, I should have went that way instead of McDavid goal. I cannot believe he got 5 assists, but could not score a goal. Yes, I'm still a little bit salty, even after a few days. Hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday. Me too. Hope everyone is doing well. But we're going to jump into the Saturday slate, 13 games to break down. And we will start with the Battle of New York. The New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. The Rangers, minus 105, road dogs. Islanders, minus 115, home favorites, total of 5.5. Not going to be talking about goalies because we don't have any goalies confirmed for the Saturday slate. Make sure to check out Daily Face-Off for your starting goalie information, as well as line combos, because I'm going to be talking about some line combinations here on the show for Saturday slate. But because we're coming back off the holiday and because teams have not been allowed to practice during this time, we could very well have some surprises, and we will. There's 13 games, 26 teams. There are going to be some surprises when it comes to the lines. So definitely check out the line combinations if you're doing any kind of point parlays or anything like that, to make sure that players are still with the players that they were with heading into the break. But looking at this one here, the Rangers 5-1 in the last 6 meetings between these two teams. The Islanders getting the win in the first meeting this year, and it was a shutout win, 5-0 shutout win for the Islanders in New York, or in Madison Square Garden against the Rangers, which isn't a big surprise because the Rangers just can't score goals at home. The Islanders here enter this game -115. Home favorites, but the Rangers 14-6-1 on the road. The Rangers won 3 of 4 heading into the Christmas break. The Islanders lost 3 of 4. When I look at this one here, I hate to start off the day with a pass, but I think this one's a toss-up. I think either team could win this game. When it comes to the total, previous meetings 2-1 to a total 6. So 3 overs, 2 unders in the last 5 meetings. The Rangers, some really low scoring 3-0, 2-1, 2-1 type games, but then a 5-4 and a 7-3 game thrown in there. The Islanders have been an under team for a while now. So no side or total here for me. Looking at player props in this one, guys, with value, Anders Lee has a point in 4 games in a row, 7 of his last 10 for the Islanders, plus 100. He has some value point-wise. No goal assist recently. Matthew Barzal assist, 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10 games. Did not get one before the break in his last game. -105 for an assist for Matthew Barzal. Ultimately a pass to start off the slate. This one being played at 6 p.m. Eastern, so an hour early than the other games. Merry Christmas, always enjoying from Greece. Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Good vibes. Yes, Nicholas, good vibes. And perfect timing, Nicholas, as usual. Boston Bruins and the Buffalo Sabres here in our second game. Boston +120, road dogs. The Sabres -140, home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this one. Taking a look at how these two teams were doing, but heading into the break. Boston got off to a really hot start to the season, and they beat Buffalo both games that they played this season. 3-1 in Boston and 4-3 overtime in Boston, both in October 11th and October 30th. Well, that was when Boston was just winning games, winning a bunch of games in a row, looking like a lot of people were wrong about their predictions of the Bruins this season. But since then, we've kind of seen Boston falter, especially heading into the break. 4 losses in a row, all at home, where Boston's been so great. 3-1 against Edmonton, 5-4 shootout loss against Vancouver, and then back-to-back 6-2 losses. 6-2 loss against Ottawa, 6-2 loss against Montreal, both divisional opponents. That's a really awful way to head into the Christmas break. Buffalo on the other side, they are playing their best hockey, I'm going to say this year, because I know in previous years they have gone on long runs. Usually, once they've been eliminated from the playoffs, is when Buffalo gets hot. But this year they started a little bit early, winning 7 games in a row, heading into the Christmas break. How have these two teams done against each other? Buffalo 3-1-1 in the last 5 overall. they have lost both meetings this year in Boston. 3 of the last 5 have gone over 6.5 between the two teams. 2 of the last 4 going overtime, but not the 2 games in Buffalo last season. Buffalo won 7-2 and 6-3 in the 2 games in Buffalo last season. And, of course, we have to see there are teams that are on real cold streaks heading into the break and teams on real hot streaks. But will the break affect that? Because we could very well see teams that were struggling before the break start to do well and other teams not do so well. So that's something to keep an eye on here in the first game after the break. For me, Ryan McLeod, over half a point, plus 120 here in this one. McLeod had a point in 6 of his last 7 games heading into the break. On the third line in the second power play, but really a strong chemistry between him and Quinn, and then Benson also on that third line. So the Buffalo Sabres, one of the reasons why they are on such a nice win streak heading into the break is because they've been getting offense throughout the lineup. Obviously in the top 2 lines, but this third line has been producing a lot as well and getting great value with McLeod at just plus 120. Just to get a point, goal, or an assist. I think it's a great play here. I do think we get goals here on both sides. I think this is a higher scoring game. So if you wanted to look at the over, I do think this is going to be a higher scoring game. Boston was in really 3 really high scoring games entering the break. Buffalo, though, has been playing 3-1, 3-2 type games for the most part. A 5-3 game against Philadelphia in there as well. I do think we get some goals here. First game after the break in this one. So we'll go with Ryan McLeod, over half a point, plus 120 here in this one. Looking at some other players that are doing well here in this one. No really shots. Alex Tuch, over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 100. 4 of his last 5 games. Tuch is shooting the puck a lot. For Boston, Victor Arvidsson has a point in 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10. For the Bruins, plus 153. Pavel Zacha, same thing, 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10, plus 105 for a point. And that's basically it there. Goal streaks, Noah Ostlund and Tage Thompson. Both have scored in 3 of their last 5. Thompson, plus 150. Noah Ostlund, plus 500. Here, power play point streaks. Pastrnak, back-to-back games, 3 of 5, plus 160. Victor Arvidsson, back-to-back games with the power play point for Boston, plus 650 in this one. And then assist streaks, Arvidsson, 4 of 5, plus 350. And Ryan McLeod, if you don't want to take him for a point, if you want to go with the assist, he's an assist in 3 of his last 5, plus 200 for an assist. But I'm fine with the plus 120 here just to get a point because he could very well score a goal in this game. We will go on. Act like Corey Perry and smash the like button. Thank you, Boog. I appreciate that, I guess. It would be so Buffalo if the holiday break ends their 7-game win streak. Yes, that's what the old Buffalo would do. But do we have a new Buffalo? Sabres 11-5-2 at home. Can't lay minus 140. How do I find an angle? If you're looking to bet Buffalo in this game, I would take them in regulation. Yes, they've had some overtime games recently, but let's see what their team total looks like as well. Let's see, because Boston has been giving up a lot. And like I said, I do expect goals here. Buffalo's team total 3.5 is plus 105. So plus money for that if you think they can get to 4 goals against the Bruins. I do. I think they can. So lots of great divisional rivalry games coming out of the break, for sure. There is. Greenway, anytime goal, plus 700. Sprinkle. All right. Former Wild player. Lindholm, 9 assists in the last 11 games. How did I miss him? Oh, okay. Yeah, because back-to-back games with no assists. That's why I didn't show up there. Sabres number 2 penalty kill. Wow. I think they were number 1 for a while, but you're right, Rich. A lot of rivalry games. Yes, it makes things exciting. I like it. And they do this a lot, I noticed, because when I was looking at previous games for teams after the break, I noticed that a lot of these matchups that we're having today, we've had previously after the break as well. So there's something to it for the NHL schedule makers. What's up, bro? Let's all catch today. Single bets only. Yeah. Hey, I only have single bets that I'm giving out, but some people do like parlays, to each his own. But we'll move on along to our next game. This one's really interesting. We have the Detroit Red Wings plus 155 road dogs, Carolina minus 185 home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this game. How were these two teams doing heading into the Christmas break? Detroit 22-13-3, 10-6-2 at home on the road. Detroit's been great on the road. They won 3 games in a row heading into the break. 5-2 against Washington, 3-2 overtime against Washington, and then a 4-3 overtime win against Dallas. So an impressive win there in that one. Carolina lost 3 games in a row. 4-3 shootout loss to Florida, 6-4 loss to Tampa Bay, and then a 5-2 loss to the Florida Panthers again. So Carolina giving up 4, 5, 6 goals, losing 3 games in a row, not entering the break how they want, 11-6-1 overall at home. How do these two teams do against each other? Carolina 6-1 in the last 7 meetings between the teams. And poor Detroit does not like to play after Christmas. They tend to need some time to get ready before they're in game shape. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games after the Christmas break. So Detroit has not been a good team to bet on after that. And 6 of the last 7 for Detroit after Christmas went over 6.5. So they tend to give up a lot of goals as well. I think we get goals here. I think this is a good, especially at a total of 6. I think we get goals on both sides in this one. Detroit had gone over in 2 or 3. Carolina had definitely gone over in 3 games in a row. But looking at player props here, shots and goal props, not a lot of value. Point props, Jordan Staal, 3 games in a row with a point, 4 of his last 5, plus 132. Mort Seider, minus 110 for a point, 4 of his last 5 games. I was close to pulling the trigger on Seider. Goal streaks, Eric Robinson, back-to-back games, plus 575 for Carolina, and Andrei Svechnikov, back-to-back games, plus 225. Power play point streaks, Lucas Raymond, Emmett Finney, back-to-back games with the power play point, plus 210 for Raymond, plus 550 for Finney. And then Jordan Staal assists, 3 of 5 games, plus 268. So I do see goals in this game, but with player props, it's a little bit tough. But then again, before I want to take the over, I do want to know who's in net for Carolina. It could very likely be Brandon Bussey in net, which would make me not so excited to take the over. Carolina team total over could be a good look. As I said, with Detroit struggling so much after Christmas, going such high-scoring games, and then Carolina owning the previous meetings between these two teams, makes me lean with Carolina a lot. Like all those stats point to Carolina, but current play entering the break said Detroit. Looking at a side perspective from this game, I would have to look at the Canes on the puck line, and I don't want to do that unless I know who's in net. I can't. Now, of course, it would be shocking if we see Frederik Andersen in net in this game, but until he's gone, it's a possibility at any time. So, unfortunately, this game is a wait-and-see one. I need to see a little bit more. Books moved the line since it opened at 5.5. Some books have it at 6.5. Okay, yeah, so again, if you only have access to 6.5, then you need to wait and see what happens with the goaltending here in this game. But we'll move on along to our next one. We've got the Wild -115 road favorites heading to Winnipeg, -105 home dogs, total of 5.5 here in this one. Looking at this one here, the Wild 9-6-1 on the road, Winnipeg 8-7-1 at home. The Wild 22-10-6 on the season, Winnipeg 15-17-3. The road team has won both games this year, Winnipeg winning 4-3 in overtime in Minnesota, and then the Wild finally slaying the Dragon. They had lost 9 games in a row against Winnipeg, but finally got the 3-0 win in Winnipeg in November 23rd, so just a month ago. And it's actually funny. It's actually really funny. They faced each other on October 28th, then November 23rd, and now December 27th. So, and the next game is January 15th. So it's basically like the Wild and Jets are facing each other a month apart, which is kind of interesting, scheduling wise. When I look at this game here, not going to shock anybody, but the Wild -115 road favorites here. There's value on the Wild. Winnipeg 9-1 in the last 10 meetings. As I said, the Wild did beat them in the most recent meeting. After Christmas, the Wild 6-2 in the last 8 games. After Christmas, the Winnipeg Jets have lost 4 in a row. This Winnipeg Jets team lost 4 games in a row heading into the break. The Wild lost back-to-back games. So after that long win streak, 5-1 loss to Colorado, which after facing Edmonton the night before, you're getting Colorado, a team that you actually beat a few weeks earlier. That was a Colorado spot. Then facing Nashville, 3-2 overtime loss. I think this is a good spot for the Wild. That's my thoughts. Player prop wise, and if you're looking at Winnipeg in this game, obviously the odds are a little bit surprising, but we continue to see there be value on the Wild. And this is why I'm pretty much saying every show there's value on the Wild, because we're seeing them at -115, -120 road home favorites against teams that they should be bigger favorites against. Now, of course, Nashville was a different story. I said that too. Being -180, that's a little bit more realistic, but being -115 road favorites here is a little bit surprising. Now, will the break get Winnipeg going? Because Connor Hellebuyck returning did not help. They won their first game with him, but have lost 5 of 6 since Hellebuyck returned. Player props here. Oh, finally we have point props available. Okay. Because for some reason, player props started showing up yesterday in some of the games. And then, of course, a little bit more were there this morning. But the only game that was missing was the Wild game. So I was a little bit curious why that is. Maybe there's some kind of injury news or anything, but we haven't seen anything to that nature. Player props here in this one. Marcus Johansson, a point in 4 of 5, 6 of 10, +138. What can I say about Marcus Johansson except I'm sorry. I am sorry for wanting you traded so many times. I was wrong. Looking at other players, Ryan Hartman, Vladimir Tarasenko, both 3 of 5, +141 for a point. There is some value with them. But prop-wise, I don't know if I want to get involved in this game. I don't know how high scoring of a game this is going to be. I would lean more towards the under, even at a 5.5. I do think this is going to be a lower scoring game. But if you think I'm taking an under 5.5 after the break, you're crazy, because so many things could go wrong after a break like that. Assist-wise, Johansson 4 of 5, +230 for an assist. Kaprizov has an assist in 3 of 5, +105 for the Wild. This game, a tough game prop-wise here. Raymond has 14 points in 12 December games, 11 assists, and 8 power play points. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I saw that he was doing good in the power play, but that's really good. But next, we'll move on along to another rivalry, which is the Battle of Ontario. Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs here in this one. Ottawa, minus 115, road favorites. The Leafs, minus 105, home dogs, and a total of 6 here in this one. The first game between these two teams since Toronto beat Ottawa in the playoffs last year, 4-2. In that series, 3 of the last 5 going to overtime. So a lot of close games between these two teams in that playoff series. If we look at the regular season, though, Ottawa's won the last 5 regular season games between these two teams. And now we have both teams coming off the Christmas break. Ottawa with playing very well. Did lose to Buffalo in overtime, but normally that would be bad. But first off, Buffalo's playing very well right now. Second of all, Buffalo just has Ottawa's number. They've just played very, very well against Ottawa. The Leafs have lost 3 of 4 entering the Christmas break, but the 3 losses all on the road. They did beat Pittsburgh 6-3 at home in their last game. The Leafs 16, 15, and 5 in the season, but 11, 5, and 5 at home. Toronto has played well at home this year. Not so on the road. Looking for me here in this one, give me the Leafs killer. The Leafs killer. Claude Giroux, over half a point, plus 120. Toronto really should try to acquire Claude Giroux because having him in your division is just not a very smart thing for the Leafs, or an unfortunate thing for the Leafs. Claude Giroux has a point in 14 of his last 17 games against Toronto. That's a lot. For some reason, we get the best of Claude Giroux when he faces Toronto. And heading into the Christmas break, he had points in 4 games in a row, 2 multi-point games during that stretch. So he was on absolute fire heading into the break. And as I said, owns Toronto. And his point prop is plus 120. Why is it plus 120? Because he's on the third line and the second power play unit. But that's fine with me. He's going to get better defensive matchups. He loves to play Toronto, had a lot of success entering the break. And we're getting him for a point at just plus 120. So that's my favorite play here in this game. Claude Giroux, over half a point, plus 120 in this one. Touchdown Northwestern, 7-0. There you go. I will be honest, I have nothing in college football today. So there we go. Senators are favored, LOL. Yeah, barely. I hate when I'm breaking these games down and I see someone at minus 115. I hate saying favorites because at another book, they could be a dog. That's very easy. But that's the case here. Next, after the Battle of Ontario, we have the Battle of Florida. And we'll have the Battle of Edmonton coming up later on. So as Rich mentioned, a lot of rivalry games here. Tampa Bay minus 105, road dogs. The Panthers minus 115, home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this one. But hold on a second. We have to go back because I didn't mention players on streaks. Here in this one, I don't see anything really for shots on goal. Point props with value other than Claude Giroux, not a whole lot. Tim Stützle scored in 3 games in a row for Ottawa, plus 200. And then assist streaks, Batherson 3 games in a row with an assist, plus 141. Claude Giroux 3 games in a row with an assist at plus 208. So if you don't like the plus 120 and if you want to get greedy and go for the plus 208, it is there as well. And then Stützle assists 3 of 5, plus 116 in this one. But back to this one. Tampa 3-2 in the last 5 regular season meetings between the teams. 1 over, 3 unders, 1 push. Heading into the break, Florida probably didn't really want the break to come because Florida, while struggling earlier, playing some of their best hockey heading into the break, winning 4 or 5 games there, including 5-2 against this Lightning team, 3-2 against LA, 2 wins against Carolina, 4-3 and 5-2, and then a stinker against St. Louis, 6-2, but that happens to all teams. Tampa also beating Carolina in their second last game before the break, 6-4, and then beating St. Louis 4-1. So Tampa, who had lost 3 games in a row, won back-to-back games entering the break. And now both these two teams face each other. When I look at this game here, I just see the draw. As I just broke it down, I didn't really see the draw before, but now breaking it down, looking at it here, going over it, the draw is calling my name. I think this could be a good overtime spot between these two teams. So I'll have to consider pulling the trigger on the draw here for a quarter unit. I think that's the way to go. Brady has 53 shots in 11 December games, except the game I took him for over. That's just what happens. For some reason, shots on goal, I've had bad luck with. Kind of like, I don't want to say pitcher strikeouts because things went better at the end of the year in baseball, but for strikeouts. But Terry Edelbags. Hey, Irish King. How's it going? But next we will move, or actually no, hold on a second. I almost forgot player props here in this one. Guys on shots on goal streaks, none that have any value. As a parlay piece, Braden Point over 1.5 shots a goal. It's -175, but 8 games in a row. He could be a good look for shots on goal. Point props, nothing single as a single play. Marchand and Gensel both on good point streaks. Same thing with Bennett and Reinhart, but not in my price range for single plays. Goal streaks, Lundell 3 of 5 plus 320. Bennett 3 of 5 plus 190, and Reinhart 3 of 5 plus 180. Heading into the break. Assist streaks. Brad Marchand, 4 games in a row with an assist plus 120. And then Gensel 3 of 5 plus 126. If I was getting to a player prop here in this game, it would be probably Brad Marchand assist. But I'm not going to because I could just see him scoring. I could see him scoring here. So this one, ultimately a pass to start off with, but might end up getting to the draw before we get to tomorrow. This one here, Washington plus 105, road dogs, the Devils -125, home favorites, and a total of 5.5 here in this one. Two people that don't follow either of these teams. You might not know about the past history between these two teams, but Devils fans and Capitals fans definitely do. They definitely know what happens between these two teams because we have very one-sided past history. The road team is 10-1 in the last 11 games between these two teams. Washington 12-2 in their last 14 games in New Jersey. For whatever reason, the Capitals love to come play in New Jersey, and the Devils love to go to Washington too. So I don't know why the road team has so much success in this series, but that is the case. Previous games in New Jersey, for a total of 5.5, 4 games went over 6.5, and 2 games finished with 6. So 6 games in a row in New Jersey went over the total. Washington has scored at least 4 goals in 7 of their last 8 games in New Jersey, and Washington has won 5 of their last 6 games after the Christmas break. The Devils had a somewhat decent record as well after the break, so not an auto fade team after the break. But the Capitals is a play I want to pull the trigger on for sure. Now, what I don't like is how the Capitals entered the Christmas break, having lost 6 of 7 games. They had a 4-0 win against Toronto, but had lost their other 6 games, including 7-3 in New York, 5-2 in Detroit, 5-0 against Minnesota, 5-1 against Winnipeg. not playing well. But past history says this is a great spot for them. The Devils on the other side have been an under machine, 2-1. 4 of their last 5 games have been 2-1 scores. So the Devils have been such an under team. This one's really tough when it comes to side total. I can't take an over with this Devils team right now. And Washington has had so much success in New Jersey. And I do like this Capitals team. I think they are a better team than the Devils, but I don't like how they played. But somebody has to win this game. So, long story short, I think Washington is the right play here in this one. I always look towards Lusta. I think he'll have a big game soon. He's always good value on the top line. I'm not sure who you're talking about, but let me know. Tampa, Florida, Rock'em Sock'em games, power play opportunities. Gensel has 11 points in 11 games. 6 are power play points. There you go. I can see that. I can see a lot of penalties there. I keep expecting Hamilton to show up, but compared to last year, he just hasn't. Yeah, it's been a rough year for him, for sure. New Jersey, power play 20.7%. Washington, penalty kill 24th at 76.7. Heishier and Bratt have half of their December points on the power play. All right. And yeah, how many power plays, how many penalties happen in this game will really depend on this total too, if it goes over or not. Oh, E2 Lusterinen. Okay, E2 Lusterinen. That's who you're talking about. E2 Lusterinen. But we will move on along to our next game, which is actually, no, we won't, because I keep forgetting props here. Guys on streaks here, shots on goal with value. Nico Hischier over 2.5 shots on goal plus 136. Four games in a row, but a lot of games against Washington. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. 11 of his last 12 games against Washington, he has at least 3 shots on goal. Nico Hischier. So plus 136. There's great value on Hischier's shots prop here at over 2.5. That's crazy to see so many games against Washington. But Ryan Leonard point prop plus 123, 4 of his last 5 games. Of course, was playing really well before he got injured and then came back and got 2 points in his first game back. So a great game back for him. And Alexi Protas playing with him plus 130, points in 3 of 5. Mercer has a point in back-to-back games, 3 of 5 for New Jersey, plus 115. Dylan Strome, who is supposed to be on the second line with Leonard and Protas, a point in 3 games in a row, minus 122. John Carlson, points in back-to-back games, plus 110 for Washington. Power play point props, Ryan Leonard, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 525. Was on his power play point in that game. He got injured, unfortunately. And then Ryan Leonard assist, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 223. Dawson Mercer, back-to-back games, plus 223 for an assist for him here in this game. Terrible at spelling. Oh, hey, E2 Lusterinen is tough, so you're good. You're good. A lot of people would have trouble spelling his name. They would, so it's fine. Mercer for assists seems to be good value and hits and spurts. Yeah, he's been playing well heading into the break. We'll see if it continues. But we'll move on along to our next game, the Chicago Blackhawks and the Dallas Stars. The Hawks plus 275, road dogs. Dallas minus 350, home favorites, and a total of 5.5 here in this game. And when I look at this side, when I look at this game from a side perspective, it's Dallas puck line or nothing, and I choose nothing because I do not want to take a puck line at minus 125. As before game time tomorrow, this is probably minus 135, in my opinion. I think it'll continue to move. Dallas has won 13 of the last 16 meetings between the teams. and they've covered the puck line in 9 of their last 10 wins against Chicago. So when Dallas faces Chicago, they win by margin, which isn't a surprise with how Chicago has been these last 5-ish years, and obviously Dallas being a contender. Chicago's lost 5 in a row heading into the break. 4 of those 5 games, they lost by multiple goals. Dallas had their win streak snapped in their last game, a 4-3 overtime loss to Detroit. I like Dallas to win this game. The issue is betting it. That is the issue here in this one. So, pass in this one just because what the books have done here. Jamie Benn over 1.5 shots on goal, minus 120, 4 of his last 5 games. And he does have a good history against Chicago. Wow. So his shots on goal prop is 1.5 at minus 118. He has at least 4 shots on goal in 6 of his last 7 against Chicago. 4, 4, 5, 4, 6, 1, and then 5. So Jamie Benn shots on goal props have a ton of value. And Jamie Benn point prop, 4 of his last 4 games in a row, plus 117, and in 5 of his last 6 against Chicago. So everything points to Jamie Benn, but I'm staying off. Nothing against Jamie Benn, but I haven't had luck betting his point props because when he does, obviously he's hot right now, but when I bet him previously, he has got a lot less ice time than normal. So especially against Chicago, if they score 3-4 goals, if they're up by a lot, might see his ice time shortened. Other players on streaks point-wise with value, none. Goal scoring streaks, Jamie Benn plus 340, back-to-back games. Power play point streaks, you could probably look at any star, but not anything huge. And then assist streaks, Heiskanen assist 4 games in a row, but minus 125. Not really value there. The books are not giving us value in this game unless you're comfortable betting on Jamie Benn props. He has value. Basically, everyone else do not. Harley and Benn assist for me on this one. All right. I noticed the lower ice time for Benn also. Yeah, it's a little frustrating. So will keep me off his props here in this one. But we will move on along to our next game, which is the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues. Nashville, minus 105. Road Dogs, the Blues, minus 115. Home favorites, and a total of 5.5 here in this one. Taking a look at this game here. Nashville playing their best hockey of the season, entering the break, winning 4 or 5 games, including 5-2 against the St. Louis team, 5-3 against Toronto, 2-1 against the Rangers, and 3-2 overtime against the Wild. St. Louis has been alternating wins and losses, coming off a loss in their last game, 4-1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. 14-16-8 on the season, 7-8-5 at home. How do these two teams do against each other? Nashville has won both meetings this year, and both games this year have gone over 6.5. St. Louis had won the previous 4 meetings, so St. Louis had success more previously. And so heading into the Christmas break, Nashville has been so hot. And looking at this game, they just beat the Blues 5-2. Not really. It is kind of a revenge spot, but not really. There were some games after that. Then obviously the break. I want to bet Nashville at minus 105, but Nashville has lost 6 games in a row after the Christmas break, and St. Louis 5-0-1 in their last 6. So St. Louis is ready to go after the Christmas break, and Nashville has not been ready to go in previous meetings. That's enough to keep me off Nashville here, but I'm not taking the Blues. That's for sure. I don't really want to bet Nashville unless I absolutely have to, because I still don't trust them. Yes, they've been playing well. I still don't trust them, though. If they were plus 110, plus 120 in this game, then I might look more at Nashville, but not going to take them here in this one. Shots and goal streaks here, not a whole lot. Point streaks with value, Justin Falk, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 130. He's got some value here. Goal streaks, Steven Stamkos, 3 games in a row, plus 245. And Justin Falk has scored in back-to-back games and 3 of 5 for St. Louis, plus 600 for Justin Falk. Stamkos, Yossi, power play points, 3 of 5, plus 300 for Stamkos, plus 240 for Yossi. Ryan O'Reilly assist, 6 games in a row, plus 117. Steven Stamkos assist, 4 of his last 5, plus 182. And as well, 5, 7 of his last 10 against St. Louis, he has an assist. So Stamkos has liked to play the St. Louis Blues in the past. We'll go here. Northwestern running away with this. CMU 3 straight turnovers, 21-0. Well, I hope you're on Northwestern then. But hey, obviously this is a hockey show. I was on Hawaii a couple nights ago, and they were down 21-0, and they ended up coming back and winning. So in college football, being down 21-0, and there was a few games, I can't remember who was I took in college football before that, they were up 3 scores and ended up losing. So being up 21-0 is not necessarily a great thing in college football lately. Ryan O'Reilly, 11 assists in 11 December games, 14 points. Stamkos, 9 goals in 11 December games, 13 points. Yeah, the Predators have been getting a ton of offense recently. So good looks for both of those guys here in this one. But I guess my favorite game of the night, because I've got 2 plays in it, but I don't know necessarily that's my favorite, but Anaheim Ducks plus 120, road dogs, the LA Kings minus 140, home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this one. Bear with me for a second. The Anaheim Ducks 21-14-2 in the season, 9-8-2 on the road. LA 15-12-9 in the season, 4-8-4 at home. The Ducks winning the first game between the two teams this year, 5-4 in a shootout. But the Kings have had success against Anaheim. 4-0-2 in the last 6 meetings. Now Anaheim's won 2 of the last 3. So Anaheim is starting to turn that around. Back-to-back games over 6.5 between these two teams, and 2 of the last 3 have gone to overtime. So usually high-scoring, close games between these two teams. Looking at how the teams play after the Christmas break, Anaheim's kind of up and down, but LA 5-1 in their last 6 games following the Christmas break. But I don't care. Give me the Ducks. Plus 125, my dog of the day here in the NHL on Saturday. And just let me get up my updated dog of the day record. 4-2, up 3.14 units since I started doing dog of the day. So don't have one all the time, but when there is a dog I really like, I'll make them my dog of the day. And so far, 4-2 in those. Yes, Anaheim not playing well necessarily heading into the break, but this LA Kings team is a mess. They're a mess. When you are a team that is flirting with the playoff spot and you trade away one of your forwards for a second-round pick, that's kind of saying that maybe unless you're freeing up cap space for a big move, it could be telling the team that you don't necessarily believe in them. And really, you shouldn't really believe in them. This Kings team has lost 6 of their last 7 games heading into the Christmas break, including 3 in a row at home. 2-1 overtime against Calgary, 3-1 against Columbus. And then LA lost to Seattle, a Seattle team who is playing on the second night of a back-to-back. And I believe it was 14 losses in a row. Don't quote me exactly on that. Jonathan Davis knows for sure, but the Seattle Kraken had been unable to win a game in back-to-backs, I think, going back to last season, and LA lost to Seattle. in that spot. So this LA team is a mess. I believe much more in this young Ducks team. I think they're ready to go in this one. I think they end up finding a way to win as the road dog and have to put a quarter unit on Mikael Granlund anytime goal, plus 400 here in this one. Why? Well, because he scored in 4 games in a row. And that's enough right there. Plus 410, scored in 4 games in a row. Have to see if Leo Carlsson is back, but if he's not, Granlund was on that top line, top power play in the last game. It's a quarter unit, so I've played it regardless. If he's on the top line and top power play, or if he goes back to the third line, I'm fine with that as well. Obviously, would prefer him on the top line, but it is what it is. But great value with him. 4 games in a row, plus 400 for Mikael Granlund to score here. And I don't believe necessarily, 3 games in a row he hasn't scored against LA, 2 games in the game before that. But I remember a beautiful overtime winner for Mikael Granlund in a wild jersey against this LA team, where he completely outmaneuvered everybody on his way to scoring the game winner. So obviously that was a long time ago, but fond memories of Mikael Granlund. I'll take him here. Hottest goal scorer on this team heading into the break. Looking at shots and goal streaks, not a whole lot. Point streaks here. Mikael Granlund, if you just want to take him for a point, I'm seeing him around plus 100. 4 games in a row with a point. Jackson Lacombe for a point. 4 of his last 5 games, 8 of his last 10. Lacombe has been really hot heading into the break. Minus 105 for a point. But has not had much success against LA. 9 games in a row without a point. Did get one in the meeting this year. In the first meeting this year. So finally got a point against the Kings, but has really struggled against them overall. Granlund plus 410 here. Kuzmenko back-to-back games with a goal plus 370 in this one. And assist streaks, not much. Not much here in this game. We'll go to the chat. I've donated a bit of money on McTavish to get an assist. He either doesn't show up or scores a goal, but he's a good value. He's usually a good value for a point. Yeah, there you go. I hate when you take someone for a goal and then they get 5 assists, or when you take someone for an assist and they score a goal. Who can I be talking about the 5 assists? I guess I'm still salty. How the HE double hockey sticks is Hillier still an NHL coach? Kings have a .375 home record, 4-4. I don't know. And thank you, Rich. It wasn't 0-14. It was 0-17. 0-17 on a back-to-back. And then they go and win in LA. That just says what's going on in LA right now. And that's not good things. But we will move on along to our next game. The Colorado Avalanche, only minus 140, road favorites. The Vegas Golden Knights, and I know only minus 140, still decent sized favorites, but for Colorado, that's short. Vegas plus 120, home dogs plus total of 6 here in this one. Colorado's won the last 3 meetings between the teams and lower scoring games. 2 unders, 1 push. 3 of the last 5 have gone to overtime between these 2 teams. For whatever reason, we do get a lot of close games between these teams when they face each other. And not necessarily after the Christmas break, but for some reason, on December 27th specifically, when I was doing my research for this, obviously I noticed Colorado has lost 11 of their last 12 games on December 27th. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to lose this game. I'm not going to bet Vegas because of that. But 11 of 12 games on a certain day, which happens to be a day, most of the games that they play on that day are right after Christmas. So not a good record for Colorado on December 27th. How are these two teams doing recently? Well, Colorado, the best team in the league, 27-2-7, 12-2-5 on the road. Vegas, 17-8-10, 8-4-5 at home. Colorado winning 4-2 in the first meeting this year. Vegas have lost 3 games in a row, but before the break, they do what they love to do against the Sharks, and that's beat down. 7-2 win. 3 really high-scoring games entering the break for Vegas. 3-2, 5-1, 1-0 games for Colorado. So this one here is tough when it comes from a side or total perspective. I don't have anything. This one's just tough. And then looking at player props here, shots and goal streaks, Gabriel Landeskog over 2.5 shots and goal, plus 122, 4 of his last 5 games. Pavel Dorofeyev for a point. I was on him for a goal, of course. He got an assist in the game against the Sharks. I think he got 2 assists, actually. Minus 110 for a point. 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10. So if you do like some offense from Vegas here, Pavel Dorofeyev would be a good look. Valeri Nichushkin has a point in 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10, minus 106. But a lot of success against Vegas, points in 6 of 8 against the Vegas Golden Knights. And that's basically it. Noah Hanifin has a point in 3 games in a row for Vegas, plus 120. Goal streaks, Mitch Marner, back-to-back games with a goal, plus 270. And Thomas Hertl, back-to-back games with a goal, plus 200 for Vegas. Power play points. The Vegas power play has been hot. Now we'll be facing a very good Colorado penalty kill, but Noah Hanifin, 3 games in a row with a power play point, plus 300. Marner, 3 in a row, 4 of his last 5, plus 190. And Pavel Dorofeyev, 4 of his last 5 games with a power play point, plus 260. And then Hanifin assists 3 games in a row, plus 157. And then Nichushkin, Marner, Stone, Hertl, McKinnon, Makar, all 3 of their last 5 games with an assist, but a lot of those guys not single plays here in this one. We will continue on along. I think Vegas wins this, just a feeling. I could see it. It is amazing when the Avs have done with the 27th ranked power play. They do have the number 1 penalty kill. Yeah, it's crazy that their power play is so bad when you have the players you have on it. If this was Vegas on the road, I think Colorado takes it, but Vegas is capable. Should be a good game to watch. I agree. Colorado is so dominant, it's hard to find any value with them on player props. Yes, and that's been the case for years now. I rarely ever bet any Colorado player props because we rarely get any value. So that's just how it goes. But 2 more games left, and then we are done with the slate. The Battle of Calgary. Battle of Alberta, Edmonton Oilers, minus 125. Road favorites, Calgary Flames, plus 105. Home dogs, and a total of 6.5 here in this game. Edmonton, 8-2-1 in the last 11 meetings between these two teams. 1-1-2 to a total of 6. So not a lot of edge there with the total. 2 of the last 3 games going to overtime between these two teams. And the road team was 6-1, now 6-2 in the last 8 meetings between the teams, with Edmonton winning at home. Usually the road team does well in the series. The Oilers are playing very well right now. And then Calgary had been doing well until this game against Edmonton. Looking at this game from a price perspective, it's Edmonton or pass, minus 125. I'm a little surprised they're still minus 125. I think if you do like the Oilers, I would bet them now. I would not wait until tomorrow, because I do think as more people start to pay attention, especially potentially the public, I think that a lot of Edmonton money is likely going to come in heading into tomorrow's slate. Looking at Guys with value, not a whole lot. Shots on goal. Point props, Jonathan Huberdeau, 4 of his last 5, 7 of his last 10, minus 115. Leon Draisaitl over 1.5 points, 3 games in a row, 7 of his last 10, plus 100. Mikhail Backlund point, 3 games in a row, plus 135. McDavid goal, 4 of his last 5 games, but not his last game, plus 145. Hyman back-to-back games, plus 175. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back-to-back games with a goal, plus 265. Draisaitl and McDavid power play points, 5 games in a row for Draisaitl, 6 in a row for McDavid, minus 125 for a power play point for Draisaitl, minus 120 for McDavid. But Hyman has a power play point 3 games in a row. He's plus 200. So you really see the difference in value. Draisaitl minus 125, McDavid minus 120, Hyman plus 200. Go with Hyman if you want to bet that. Assist prop. Hyman, who is usually Mr. Goal Scorer, has an assist in 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, plus 150. McDavid over 1.5 assists, back-to-back games, plus 176 here in the Battle of Alberta. Funny story the other night. I needed Granlund for an assist to win a 10K in a parlay. The Joker scored a goal. LOL. If I remember right, it was the Ducks' only goal. Yes, the other night. I was on the point prop. Screw all this football and basketball. We are back, baby, for some puck. Yes, Golfing Stars fan. It's been frustrating, but a nice break. But I've missed hockey for sure. Have you had any big almost wins this year that missed my leg? Yeah, for me, it's mostly single bets. I will parlay my premiums that I have on picks and parlays. I will parlay them together at times for very small, just for fun, in case obviously I have a great night. And then I will give out the odd 2-teamer. I gave out a 2-team money line parlay here in the NHL a few weeks ago that cashed. It has to be a certain situation for me to bet parlays. To each his own. I'm not. This is a great comment to get away from the hockey and just betting. People will tell you how to bet. I'm not one of those people. You bet how you want to bet. If you have success with parlays, bet parlays. Just make sure that you're tracking and you're knowing if you have success on them or not. But to each his own. I'm not going to tell you guys how to bet. I'll tell you what I like, obviously, but yeah. We'll move on along to our final game of the night, and I have 2 plays in this one, so don't worry. San Jose Sharks plus 125. Maybe I saved the best for last. The Canucks minus 150 home favorites and a total of 6 here in this one. How are these 2 teams doing entering the break? Well, the Sharks, a bit of a rough patch, losing 3 games in a row, 5-3 to Dallas, 4-2 to Seattle, and 7-2 to Vegas. Very high-scoring games. In their previous 2 games before those 3 losses, a 6-3 win to Calgary and a 6-5 win against Pittsburgh. So San Jose is an over machine right now. The Canucks on the other side, dead nuts under team. Then they had the 5-4 shootout win against Boston. Obviously, they went with Lankinen in that game. And then against Philly, I had the under. And unfortunately, I had the Canucks. I leaned with the under, went with the Canucks, 5-2 loss in Philadelphia. So both were wrong there. So the Canucks back-to-back overs after an under streak, and they haven't played a home game in a while. Let's see here. The Canucks 4-10-1 overall at home, and they have not played a home game. Bear with me for a second as my mouse is messing up here. They have not played a home game since December 11th. Obviously, they had this 5-game road trip and then the Christmas break. So this will be the Canucks' first home game without Quinn Hughes in the lineup. How have these 2 teams done against each other? Well, pretty one-sided. Vancouver 16-2 in the last 18 meetings between these two teams. 4 of the last 5 have gone under 5.5, so some lower scoring games. 2 of the last 3 going to overtime. San Jose has lost 5 of their last 6 games after the Christmas break and have been involved in high-scoring games, 3 overs and 1 push in their last 6 games after Christmas. So Sharks trending really heavily towards the over heading into the break. These teams more trending towards the under in the past. Honestly, I could see this finishing 4-2. I could see this being a push when it comes to the total of 6. Not going to get involved in with the total of 6, but I will take Colin Graf over half a point plus 110. There's just a ton of value here with Graf. He has a point in 5 games in a row, and 8 of his last 9. 2 multi-point games during that stretch. Absolutely red hot headed into the break. And just to get a point, plus 110, great value there. And got to go with the goal too. So full unit play on the point prop, quarter unit play on the goal at plus 330. I want to take both because Colin Graf has definitely been scoring on that top line. He's been the scorer. He has scored in 3 games in a row and 6 of his last 9 games for the Sharks. His last 2 games, only 3 shots on goal, but 2 goals. So he is shooting in the right spots as well. Maybe not getting a lot of volume shot-wise, but he is finding the back of the net when he does shoot the puck. Shots and goal streaks here. William Eklund over 2.5 shots and goal plus 134. 3 games in a row, 7 of his last 10. Point props other than Colin Graf, not a whole lot. Guys, a lot of guys with 3 out of 5, but not any kind of big streaks here. Other than Graf scoring 3 games in a row, Celebrini has also scored in 3 of 5, plus 150. And Max Sasson for the Canucks has scored in back-to-back games, plus 650. And then Liam Ogren has scored in 2 of 4. So he had not scored at all again, playing for the Wild. Now he's scored in 2 of his last 4 against coming over to Vancouver. No power play point streaks. Assists, Celebrini 4 or 5, but minus 145. Not going to get any value there. Going here to the final screen. Tomorrow is obviously Saturday, so I'll get to the comments here in a second. But if you want all of my plays, 5 player props, 5 sides. 10 plays for me tomorrow. And then, of course, the 2 quarter unit plays here on the show, so technically 12. If you want all of my plays for tomorrow, click the join button, join the YouTube, become a member on the YouTube channel, $4.99 a month, and it gets you my access to all my plays every Saturday as well. Early access to videos help keeps the channel going long term. So $4.99 a month, click that join button, and that will get you access to all my plays tomorrow. I do have a 2-unit side play tomorrow, which I'll be giving out to YouTube members. So make sure to hit that join button, help support the channel. But we will go here. I like the draw in San Jose, Vancouver. Okay, yeah, 2 of the 3 have gone to overtime, so I can see that. Don't know what I just pushed there, but Graf point, yes, sir. Him and that other fella on the top line. I think it's him and Celebrini and some other guy. Yes, Chernyshov. Chernyshov is also on that top line. Now, he did not get a point in his last game, but had an assist in his previous 3 games. He's plus 124 for a point. So he is good value for a point as well. But can't recall that other guy's in it. Yeah. Celebrini, Vancouver hometown kid. Very good point that I did not bring up. I totally forgot about that. How could I? Of course, Rich, being from Vancouver or from BC, obviously you would remember that. Let's see, head-to-head against the Canucks. 2 points. So in his 2 games in Vancouver, he has 2 points in his very first game, 1 point in his second game, 2 points in the game in San Jose. So he has had some success against Vancouver, as you would expect. Rich became a member. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate that. Chernyshov. Yes, Chernyshov. But that's it. That is the Saturday slate. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you are new. Thank you guys for watching. I'm happy you found the show. Hit the subscribe button. The show is on Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, of course, with the holiday week, things are a little bit different here. And I'm doing the show. And then Saturday shows are usually Friday night. And then Sunday shows sometime on Saturday night. So thank you guys for watching. Best of luck in the NHL on this Saturday slate. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night for the Sunday slate. Thanks for watching, guys.